Hey all, welcome to Ron's Tech Reviews. Today I'll be showing you guys how to use the Mayhems Blitz kit to prepare your radiator for your custom water cooling loop. This is the first video that's going to be part of my build vlog where I'm upgrading my cooling setup for the CPU to a custom water cooling loop. And well, the plan was to have the GPU also water cooled, but since the GPU market is still iffy, I don't want to risk losing a GPU just trying to water cool my GPU for the first time. And I already have the components for the CPU and it's been high time, it's been sitting in my shelf. So I thought, why not? I want to do this right. I want to get my 360 40mm rad. Yeah, it's big, it's heavy and it's full copper. This Mayhems Blitz kit can be only used on copper radiators. Do not use this on aluminum radiators or you will have leaks all over and you don't want that. So this is only for copper radiators. So before we move on to the video, if you like this video, don't forget to click the like button before you leave. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on the subscribe and the bell icon to be notified of my future videos. And also, if any of you water cooling geniuses are out there and you're watching this video and you see that I'm doing something wrong or something can be improved, please drop in a comment and I will see to it that I reply to it. And if it's good and it's useful for others, I will highlight it so that others can see it directly. I'm excited. Okay, you can't see my head, but I love my hair. Okay, so first let's see what you get in the Mayhems Blitz kit. So in the Mayhems Blitz kit, we get part 1 solution, which is an acidic solution. Well, then we get a part 2 solution. This is the pH balance solution. Then we have safety goggles, a couple of gloves, pH strips, and the manual, and also a small measuring cup. So that's all that you get in the Mayhems Blitz kit, which contains both part 1 and part 2 solutions. Next is the radiator. This is the Alphacool's NexXxosS XT45. This is a 45mm radiator, which I by mistakenly mentioned as 40mm in the starting of this video. The reason I went for this radiator is the thickness is just right for it to fit behind the PCO11 dynamic. So this you can have behind the side fan radiator bracket and you can have the fans on the front side of the bracket. You will see that when I build the whole water cooling loop. So what you get in the box is the radiator itself. As you can see, this has 4 plugs on the top, 1 plug at the bottom, which is the drain plug. The 4 plugs on the top, you can use one side as the inlet and the other side as the outlet. So you can have it coming in from here and going out from the back on this side, or you can have coming in and coming out on the same side itself. Now for the initial prep of your radiator, you just need the part 1 solution. The part 1 solution is, like I mentioned before, is the acidic solution. So you need to be really careful. You need to wear gloves and you need to wear the safety goggles they provide. Also, if possible, use a glass or stainless steel container or bottle so that the acid does not eat into it. So in my case, I'm using a glass bottle and this is a milk bottle which does the job. It has been cleaned and it's been all done before. Okay, let's get to the preparation of the solution. So as always, leather gloves. So yeah, there's an extra pair inside. Get the safety goggles. And yeah, so safety is done first. So now we work on the solution itself. So it's actually 975 ml of distilled water and 25 ml of the acidic part 1 solution. Already on the bottle I have marked 975 and 1 liter earlier. So this is why it's going to be much easier for me to do this. Before we move on to that, I like to say that this 45mm 360 rad uses about 325 milliliters of water. It can store up to that much. Yeah, so I won't be using the whole solution, but however, I'm planning to do this twice. Doing this twice, I am expecting to have it fully cleaned and fully prepped. Why do we do this again? It's because there is usually, during manufacturing, there will be some metal shards or some paint or something that is inside, and this acidic solution gets to it and it comes out of the radiator. So back to the solution. To be on the safe side, I will do the acid solution into this first so that it doesn't splash when it's on top. So yeah, there's a seal, so you need a knife to open it. Be really careful not to splash any solution. So now that's opened, we will take 25 ml using the measuring cup provided in the kit. So that's 25 ml. So I got 25 ml in the bottle of the acid, and now I will pour the rest of the 975 ml of the distilled water. Lots of bubbles, so yeah, let the bubbles settle in to see if I got the measurement right. And okay, so that's 1 liter of the mixed solution. Now we can pour the solution into the radiator. And before that, I forgot to mention, we need to have 2 plugs. Hopefully you have the metal ones from EKWB or any other manufacturer, but I have only one of those. I'll be using another acetyl plug also. Hopefully this won't rot away, but let's see. This is a test whether it will rot the acetyl, and we can see what happens. One thing you can do is to just ever so slightly have it a bit slanted, so that the top part where we are filling onto is higher than the bottom part, and make sure all the plugs are completely sealed so that there is no leak. And I'm going to use the funnel. I've also marked a safety point of 675 ml over here, so I know that I shouldn't go more than this because that's the capacity of this radiator. So we start with the one of the ports first. Be very careful not to spill anything. Now that we have done a little bit of filling on one side, we will move on to the other one. It's almost till the brim over here, not till the screw threads, but just enough that there is enough air. Close it nice and tight. Clean out any acid that is on the side. So as you can hear, you will be able to hear this. There's enough volume inside, and you need to have this slosh amount left inside the radiator. And now you do a bit of sloshing. Yeah, just move it, shake it about. They say that you need to let this rest for at least 6 to 12 hours. So it's not going to be maximum 12 hours, but before that I will come and drain this, and we can see how much debris that we get from this solution. Also ensure that I'm pretty sure that I have not had any acid come onto my gloves, so I am going to reuse these gloves. But if you feel like, if you want to be safe, not if you want to be here, to be on the safe side, use a different gloves. Just wash off the parts that have been in contact with the acids, and I will see you after 8 to 10 hours. Well, it's going to be just a second for you.
8 hours later.
So I'm back, and this has been sitting for roughly 9 hours. So let's see what debris we get from this. And that's it. So that's all the debris, and you can see there are small specks, quite a few. So we'll do this one more time and we see what we end up with. So that's it. We have done the slushing part also. So we'll just turn it over and let it rest overnight. And I'll see you back in the morning. So it's next morning and some new clothes. Let's see how the radiator has done. It's been almost 12 hours. So let's drain it and see how much debris we get. As you can see, there are some microparticles. It's not as bad as yesterday. These are much smaller. But however, we'll only do this twice now. And now we will run the solution, part 2 solution, which will pH balance not only the radiator, but it will also clean out any residue that's inside the radiator. So before I move on to the part 2 solution, which is a pH balancer, I will just clean this out 3 times using distilled water. Just fill it up, shake it, throw it, fill it up, shake, throw, fill it up, shake, throw, about 3 times. I will not be waiting for anything. It's because it's just distilled water. So I'll do that 3 times and I'll come back over here. So this is after the third distilled water drain, and I can't be sure if the camera is catching it, but there's maybe very small microparticles that I can see. That's it. I don't find any other issues over here. So now that we have completed 3 rounds of cleaning with just distilled water, we can move on to the part 2 of the solution. The part 2 of the Mayhems Blitz kit is for actually pH balancing the acidity that is currently inside the radiator, and also to clean any other debris that is also there inside the radiator. We'll only do 1 round of this one, and like how we did the flush of 3 times the distilled water, we will do that, and hopefully by then we will use the pH tester and see if it's already neutralized. So let's get to it. The way we need to mix the part 2 solution is the same as part 1 solution. You need 975 ml of distilled water and 25 ml of the part 2 solution. But as we are only going to be using this once, I don't want to waste anything. So I'll be just using 325 ml of the distilled water and about 8.33 ml of the part 2 solution. So now we have the part 2 solution inside the radiator. We're going to let it sit, and every 1 hour or a couple of hours I'll come and shake it. After 6 to 12 hours, I'll probably do it 12 hours. Since it's 9 now, I'll do it around 8 o'clock in the night. So around 8 at night, I will drain this and do 3 times distilled water cleaning of the solution of the radiator and see if it's pH balanced. So let's hope for the best. Just to know, unlike the acid solution, this one foams inside the radiator, so you won't be hearing as much slosh as the other solution. So you need to keep it moving. So that's it. Nothing more to do. So I'll see you all after 1 second. So now we're going to drain the part 2 solution that's been resting in the radiator for about 10 to 12 hours, 11 hours approximately. So let's drain it and see how much debris we get. Before that, we'll give it a slight shake. Yes, it's empty and the solution is a bit blue, so that's the alkalinity. And in terms of microparticles, I see very little, maybe like I can count the number of specks of black spots, but other than that it looks clean. So right now we will do 3 flushes of this with distilled water. That means that we will fill it with distilled water, shake it up, and then drain it again, fill it up, shake it, drain, fill it up, shake it, drain, and let's see the pH level after that. So in the kit you get a pH tester. This is just the guidance graph. The strips that you get inside, so you just need one of them. So I grabbed one of them and just put it, see what color it turns up. And from this it looks like it's already pH balanced, and it's not darker than that, so it's very light green, and that's it. So it's on 7. So we have finished up with prepping the radiator for going into your custom water cooling loop. We have done the acid part 1 Blitz kit acid treatment, and then the alkaline treatment to pH balance the solution, pH balance inside the radiator, and then cleaned it 3 times with distilled water, and now it's completely clean and we have pH balance, proper pH balance, and there is no residue inside the radiator anymore. Talking about this radiator, I love it because of its amount of inlets and outlets available and a special drain port also. Other than that, this is part 1 of the build vlog ending, and I hope you guys liked it and I hope you guys learned something from this. This took a good 2 days of my time, well, not complete 2 days of my time. I just have to come in between and check on it. But I'm happy with the result and I'm looking forward to completing my water cooling in my PC. So stay tuned for that. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.